Welcome to Leadership Is Podcast. I am your host, Jason Muhammad, founder of JM Leadership Development. Listen, I'm here to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Really, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will even distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on such platforms as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and many more. You can even make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. So it's really everything that you need to make a podcast and more, or in one place, So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And always remember, leadership is influence and service.
And so I have discovered that when we can identify a person who is a great follower, a great servant, and is passionate and focused on those two tenets, that is our first look for the best leader.
Greetings, leaders. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Leadership Is Podcast, episode 39, with my special guest, Ms. Phrantceena Halres. She is the executive director and chairperson of the Coach Tate Foundation. Today's topic is the Coach Tate Foundation's vision for leadership in a new America. The mission of the Coach Tate Foundation is to provide scholarships, leadership development, and character building through innovative educational opportunities with a focus on sports, music, and art for children. We're going to talk about that today. What does that look like? Leadership Is Podcast. We have with us today the founder of the Coach Tate Foundation, Miss Phrantceena, and she is a dynamic dynamo in her own right, with so many endeavors that she is involved in with the Coach Tate Foundation, and of course their security agencies that she's running and other businesses. So welcome, Phrantceena, once again.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jason Muhammad, for having me today.
Yes, ma'am. So can you, just tell us a little something about yourself? Who is Phrantceena?
Oh boy, that's that. I don't think we have enough time today, Mr. Jason, for all of that. But first of all, I say I'm proud to acknowledge that I'm a child of the Most High God, which I'm sure you can relate to. First
Absolutely.
of all, that's what I must say. Who I am is I am that I am. And the second part is, for the purpose of this show today, I am the founder and the chair of the board for the Coach Tate National Educational Athletic Association Corporation, and we're doing business as Coach Tate Foundation. And Coach Tate Foundation, Jason, is celebrating its 11th year in business this year.
Congratulations.
Yes, we're so excited about that, that we reached this milestone today. And we've been a United States federal registered 501c3 nonprofit organization since December 21st, 2010.
Very good. Very good. Yes, ma'am. So, if you can, tell us some more about the history of the Coach Tate Foundation. What is the Coach Tate Foundation outside of the 501c3 entity? Like, what started that? What prompted you to start that?
Well, the Reader's Digest version of the answer to that question, Jason, is my dad. They call him Coach Tate. Coach Johnny Thomas Tate Sr. Is my leader. I call him my co-founder, even though he's in heaven right now.
Yes, ma'am.
He certainly lit a good portion, over 40 years of his life, coaching children of multi-generational and cultural backgrounds from the ages of 5 to 12 in Burke County, my home county in North Carolina. He was just a phenomenal role model for me as a child in sports. He brought me up in sports, and to see the impact that he had on others' lives as children. And when he passed away, went to heaven, when I was attending the funeral, I saw all of the young children that he had coached, and they'd
Yeah.
grown up to be adults and with their own children, and to hear their stories about my dad and the impact he had on their lives with just his coaching skills on and off the court and field. It
Yeah.
certainly inspired me to carry on my dad's legacy, which he hoped that I would do if he didn't make it after his retirement. And so he went to heaven in April of 2010, and we have the blueprint for fulfilling that goal and that legacy of him that will help so many children today. Because I always say my dad is your dad, everybody's dad, who just want their kids to have a better life and live a good life.
Yes, ma'am. Very good. So tell us some more about some of the other endeavors that you yourself have been involved in.
Well, again, my span, I'm 59, I'll be 60 years old this year. And it seems
All right,
like I
young
was
lady.
born to do business and to help others and to create innovative, effective ways that help our greater society. And my focus is on the children. As you mentioned, I've taught school in the community college system over my span of years. I've worked in strategic high positions in corporate America, Ivy League law firms, uh, civil rights leaders, Supreme Court judges, all coached and mentored me over the years, senators, congressmen. And, we had an opportunity to get in the nuclear security business after 9/11. The
Wow.
country was in disarray, which I'm sure you recall that moment. And our nuclear power plants, where we get our electricity, was in disarray. There's a big threat,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Yes,
so
ma'am.
we were called on to come into the industry at that time of national disaster and create a model that worked at a time where the nation and, quite frankly, the world was on high alert.
Right.
And so we are now able to, codify all of that experience and offer that in a number of ways across broad platforms, including the Coach Tate Foundation. And this is
Yes, ma'am.
where my focus is the next generation, is to codify all of my experiences. I call them gems in the treasure chest. God has blessed me with a lot of great gems, and I just want to share it and pay it forward and ensure that our next generation knows how to collect those gems and be a gem in the treasure chest going forward.
Well, that's excellent. That's excellent. And see, and that's absolutely what leadership is all about is, not only knowing the way, but showing the way. And so tell me, what is, your definition of what is leadership? What is your definition of leadership?
Followership.
Mm.
That's my definition. Followership.
Please expound on that for me, if you will. And I understand it. I get it. I truly get it. But to tell us some more about that. What does that mean?
Well, in order to, I look for followership. And some of my great leader coaches have always taught me that. And I've always been a servant, a servant leader, even in for profit and nonprofit environments. And so I have discovered that when we can identify a person who is a great follower, a great servant, and is passionate and focused on those two tenets, that is our first look for the best leader. And even the
Okay.
Bible says, in order to lead, you got to learn how to serve. And so I
Right.
think that's the missing component, Jason, in our educational system in the 21st century, which we're going to work together and bring out to the
That's right.
education, which I really love what you're doing. and your commitment and
Thank you.
passion to creating a new
Yes, ma'am.
model for teaching folks how to learn to serve and follow.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. See, and one thing I have discovered, in this whole leadership idea, uh, is that there really truly is no other type of leadership other than servant leadership. Like you can call it, you can subtitle it whatever you want to, but the purpose of leadership truly is to serve. It really is to serve. If you're not going to serve, then you really are not qualified to be a leader. So thank you for that. So it definitely starts with the fellowship, and how I see it as with the fellowship is the following the ideas, following the ideal, following the principle, following the purpose of leadership. That's how one leads. And so thank you so much for that. So please describe for us, what is a new America and your leadership vision for a new America.
Well, that's a great question. And I can summarize it in this statement and say, in 2016, in Asheville, right there in Buncombe County, we crafted and received the message that the new America is the educational model that the Coach Tate Foundation will embrace going forward. And we call it today a sustainable strategic education and entrepreneurship advanced next level leadership learning academy. Now, that's a little
Mm.
long, but I'll repeat that again. And it's to include our multicultural populations of children and families and workforce. The new America is a strategic, sustainable education and entrepreneurship advanced leadership learning academy with a
Yes, ma'am.
focus on our multicultural populations.
Very good. Very good. So, with that being said, how do you plan to, what is the idea of how you're going to let's implement this program, into America? How are you going to introduce this to potential supporters, even? So how are you going to get the information out?
Well, we're starting that publicly for the first time this in 2021 to be very uh, focused on virtual, our VEEM model, which is the VEEM, and it stands for Virtual Educational Entrepreneur Model, which we have a strategic 13 hours, 40-hour different curriculum laid out for the strategic employer that's looking for this population to hire or to procure contracts when they come through industry certified curricula. And I hope you caught that difference. It's
Yes,
industry
ma'am.
certified curricula. And that is a proprietary curriculum that we developed with the nuclear security model that serve the local communities and increasing jobs in rural communities for minorities and women at good pay rates. And then the corporation was able to have a pipeline of, of vetted talent to enter their workplace to do their specific task. So that's the new America. That is what the
Mm.
employers are looking for in the 21st century. And so are they looking for business owners such as yourself and myself and others to procure their products and services to meet their goals and objectives. So the new America is that hybrid between your traditional education and the systemic certified curriculum. We come in and bridge that gap so that we can have an Autobahn kind of, you know what Autobahn is, pathway set for employers to get what they need.
Right.
In their workforce and supplier force. So that's the new America. And the second part of that question, Jason, I know we got to close here, but Coach Tate Foundation opened up its real estate division, real estate development division in 2020. I'm a licensed real estate agent, passed that test in the state of Florida. So I learned a lot about real estate development and land and building and all that. So they appointed me, the board members, to lead and open up the real estate development division. So when you talk about building the campus, the theme park campus that we have on board for 2021, 2025, is this real estate development brick and mortar campus, eco-friendly. We'll certainly roll out the details over the years, but we have an educational component right now that we're looking to partner with local educational institutions so we can facilitate on-site classes as a hybrid and augment the traditional education that's in place now so that we can prepare a pipeline of workforce and suppliers.
Very good, very good, very good. So tell me something, Ms. Halres. How can people support what it is that you're actually doing? How can people support this?
Jason, that's a great question, but it's also an interesting question because, as the founder, I'm always looking at those heartfelt givers, the heartfelt providers, as opposed to telling people what they need to contribute based on cost. I never want to limit the giving from the heart. So having said that, there are various ways that folks can support our initiatives. I always believe, Jason, I think I've shared this with you before, is when other folks can see themselves in your vision, they become a part of your provision. Okay. And so that's where I stand. But, we have other board members and team members and directors that are more structured in that approach. So there is an online giving as far as funding, giving of your time, your resources, volunteers. We're looking for new strategic board members, volunteer in the Buncombe County area to serve with us. And we have a local address there, 521 College Street, Asheville, North Carolina, 28803. And our phone number there is 828-827-1360. And again, that's 828-827-1360. And our email address, of course, is our executive director, Demetrios at CoachTateFoundation.com. And our website is www.CoachTateFoundation.com. And we always keep that updated as the rollout for these programs that we're offering to the public.
Very good. Very good. Anything else you would like for our audience to know about the Coach Tate Foundation, or anything else that that you're involved in or doing?
We have our security conference, Coach Tate Foundation. It has launched its a national security conference that will be in Asheville, based on April 24th, 2020. And it's a virtual model that will be presenting as a keynote speaker. I'll be presenting on the SSP for the PPT. We call it the safety, security, and protection for people, places, and things. And we have the great two-star general, retired two-star general, coming to join us. And we have, as you probably know, Norman Hooten. He played the character Hoot. Well, he is Hoot in the movie Black Hawk Down. So these are a few of my colleagues and other locals that will be joining us on the platform. And we certainly like to secure as many sponsors as we can. It's already set up online at the Coach Tate Foundation. for how you can participate and register to be a virtual participant. So that's the low hanging fruit there, Jason.
Okay. Very good. Well, listen, Phrantceena, it has definitely been an honor with you on our Leadership Is podcast. And we look forward to many times more having you on this podcast as our guest, and looking forward to doing great work with you here in North
Well, we're
Carolina
going to
area.
welcome you soon as a board member at the Coach Tate Foundation, I hope. And we certainly look forward to our shared vision and shared mission. Jason, thank you so much. I'm very humbled and thankful.
Thank you.
Are you promoting the right people into leadership positions? How do you know? How do you measure the outcomes, and are they the outcomes you're looking for? Please visit www.jmleadershipdevelopment.com. Again, www.jmleadershipdevelopment.com, and request a half-hour conversation to assess if we can address your leadership development needs. Oh, and by the way, always remember that leadership is influence and service.
Greetings, leaders. Thank you for enjoying another episode of Leadership Is podcast. With my special guest today, Ms. Phrantceena Halres, the Executive Director and Chairperson of the Coach Tate Foundation. Today, we were talking about leadership's and the vision of Coach Tate Foundation for leadership in a new America. One way she talked about how the Coach Tate Foundation planned to explore and disseminate the information about Coach Tate's Foundation's vision for new leadership in a new America is an acronym she uses called VEEM, V-E-E-M, which stands for a Virtual Educational and Entrepreneurial Model. And so that's the model in which she plans to use to not only teach and train, but educate, right? And give opportunities in the entrepreneurial pipeline for students. Remember, at JM Leadership Development, we work with emerging leaders, high potential employees, and students to develop and embrace a growth mindset for leadership. If you would like for us to do a presentation or keynote your next event, please contact us, Jason at jmleadershipconsult.com, or visit our website at www.jmleadershipdevelopment.com, and we will respond promptly. If you would like for a half-hour consultation even, you can call us at 828-333-7234. Please subscribe to this podcast using the Anchor app or anchor.fm. You can also use Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts as well at Jason A. Muhammad /leadershipis. Please follow us on our social media. Twitter is at LeadershipJM. Facebook and Instagram is JM Leadership Development. And always remember, leadership is influence and service.